What is going on, guys? So I am just recording off the cell phone today. I got the trailer on the truck, if you can see it back there, because I'm loading the RZR up to take it to Stevens in Midland, where like Side by Side blog, all them guys buy all their shit, because I need the valves clearanced. So I haven't had the RZR on here much because it starts hard, so I haven't been trying to ride it because I think the valves need adjusted, and once it warms up it runs fine, it starts fine. So I think maybe once the parts get hotter, the valves kind of, the buckets on top expand a little bit, and then they're kind of at the more correct clearance. But when they're cold, they're kind of out of whack, so it starts hard. So I'm finally taking that in to get that worked on, get that fixed. But they're a little bit behind, so I probably won't have it back for a couple weeks. So I got the trailer already for my dad. I just need to move the bikes and all this shit, put the like cover and stuff, spark plugs back in it, because I pulled them out to check the compression, and then hopefully this is all it is and they don't find anything else, and they'll be back to starting good when it's all cold, and then I can finally get the fender fixed from when I got hit by that Bronco over at Silver Lake. So I'm gonna go ahead, pull all this shit out, get that running, and then load it on the trailer.
5 minutes later.
All right, so got the RZR loaded up. It was rolling over real hard, and I don't want to like put any more stress on the starter than what I need to, so I ended up just pushing it on the trailer and had the wife kind of just like steer it. I got it strapped down and stuff. We're on our way. We stopped in Beaverton at the old Scrubway. She wanted something to eat, and then we'll make our way to Stevens, and I'll talk to them guys. They might have to pull it off the trailer with something they got there, another side by side, or I don't know, front end loader, so I don't know what they got. But yeah, I'll update you guys after I talk to them, and then head back towards home. I do have to build a cornhole board today, so probably once I drop this trailer off and get that unloaded, I'll probably stop by Flynn Lumber or something and try to get the lumber to build some cornhole boards for my father-in-law for his birthday. All right, so it's the next day. Got the RZR dropped off yesterday. Fucking heavy ass rainstorm came through, so I didn't record anything. I tried recording stuff in the truck, but with the rain hitting the windshield, you couldn't really hear me talking, and it turned out like crap. So I ended up going to the lumber store today, picked up some stuff to make these cornhole boards. I just got I got 6 4-foot long 1x4 boards, and then I got 2 2x4 pieces of plywood, and I already cut these at 22.5 to give you the overall 2 foot wide, with the 3/4 inch 1x4s on each side. And then so I'm gonna go ahead and drill the ends so I don't split them, since they're pretty thin, you know, I don't want to split the sides. And then I'll put the tops on and then sand it down to see what everything looks like. All right, I got the first board together. I did use some wood glue around the whole, like the top piece, and then I put it in the corners. Just have to put the other one together. I just texted a buddy about doing the hole. I want to see if he had a hole saw before I used the skill saw to cut it out. But I just got to put the other one together and then figure out the legs, and then hopefully he'll get back to me. If not, I'm going to use the skill saw and just cut that out. But yeah, time to tackle the second one. All right, she's pretty much dark out now. I ended up going golfing, so I was kind of pinched for time. But got the holes drilled out in each of the boards. I just ended up using a 6-inch hole saw, and I know you measure down 9 inches and then 12 inches in from each side, and then that's where you kind of just punch through with your hole saw. So I did that, and I sanded it off a little bit, rounded it off, and then I put my first coat of gray spray paint on, because these are going to be like Detroit Lions boards. So did my first coat of gray spray paint on there. Once this dries up a little bit, I'll probably do another one, because you can kind of still see the grain through the wood. But since it's getting dark, I'm probably going to have to let that dry overnight, and I'll come back tomorrow and I'll put like the white pinstripes on like I want to do. And there's like one more spot I still need to sand up, and then I'll do, once that's dry, the blue on the sides, and then I'll put one coat of the polyacrylic over it, and then I got some decals that I'll put on the center, and then I'll polyacrylic over that. So I'll flip the camera back on tomorrow once I can get a little more progress done on the board, since it's not it's getting dark out now. All right, so I got my gray on. I did 2 coats and it pretty much covered the whole thing, but you could still kind of see the grain through the paint, like the grain of the wood. I feel like the best way to combat that would be to put down maybe a primer first. But I just went ahead, since I had like half a can left, sprayed that on, so I got pretty thick gray. That's all dry. I started painting some of the legs on the one side. I pulled that one off to put the tape on it and test it to make sure I'm not going to peel the gray off when I tape down the lines. So what my plan is now is like 6 inches in, I'm going to run a piece of tape down each side and have it like folded over. Put the paper towel under it so I don't have to run a bunch of tape down. I don't have newspaper. The paper towel is like almost a perfect width on each side, so like it'll be good. So I'm just gonna run a thing of paper towel down, tape off the sides, and I'll do white, and then I'll pull that off before it dries. And then once the white is dry, then I'll put a tape line of the white down on each side, and then I'll do the blue on the sides. And then once all that is dry, then I can put my first coat of the polyacrylic before I put my decals on. All right, I got my paper towel on there, taped down, measured in 6 inches on each side, put my tape there. Did the lines first and then rolled the paper towel over it, and then just put tape over the paper towel so it stays down. So I'm gonna go ahead and spray my white down and then get a couple thick coats on there. And once that is starting to like set, I'm gonna peel all this shit off so like the paint doesn't help dry the tape to it. And then once the white is dry, I'll do one strip of tape down each side, kind of do this again, and then kind of do this again, like tape it off, mask everything off, and then do my blue. All right, as you can see, I got the white all sprayed down on both the boards. Some shit falling on it. I know how I did say I was gonna peel that off when it was wet, and then re-tape it so the paint didn't like adhere to the tape, and then maybe like chip it when I peel it off. But figured screw it, I'm gonna leave it on, and hopefully it turns out good. I guess I'll find out here in a little bit, and then you'll know if you should pull your tape off while the paint's wet or if you're good to wait until it's dry. But the only thing I'm gonna do now is run one more piece of tape butted right up to this piece here, so that will be my white pinstripe, and then I can do blue on everything else. And then once I get the blue on, I'm good to peel all the tape off and put my first coat of that polyacrylic on. All right, I just put my last coat of blue on. As you can see, it's still pretty wet. But I wanted to peel the tape off just in case like the paint really started to adhere to it, and then I didn't want it like flaking or anything when I went to go pull it off. As you can see, the tape did pretty good. They turned out all right. The only thing I probably would have did different, or if I have to do this again, maybe just use some self-etching primer over the whole thing before I spray painted it to hide the grooves in the wood a little bit. That way you wouldn't have to use as much paint, put it on as thick as I did. Other than that, I think they turned out pretty good just for spray painting them in my yard or whatever. So now I'm gonna wait for these to dry up, so probably like an hour from now. I'm gonna put one coat of that polyacrylic over it, and then I can put my stickers on, and then I'll put probably 3 or 4 more coats of that stuff on after the decals are on the boards. All right, so I said I was gonna put one coat of the polyacrylic on, but this is already like a pretty smooth surface, so I was like, screw it, I'll just try putting the stickers on, and they went on all right. So I just measured them when I put them on to make sure I can duplicate them over on the other board, and so I'm gonna go ahead and put the decals on that board over there, and then start putting some of that poly down. I'll probably start with 3 or 4 coats, and I'll start with 3 coats and then see how it is. And if I gotta put a 4th, I'll put a 4th. But yeah, I think they're turning out all right so far. All right, so the bags actually just showed up. Got them all done, got the decals on. I think I only had one decal on one of the boards when I left off in the video last night. It is the next day because I let the polyacrylic dry. I ended up putting 4 coats on the tops. I did, I think, 3 on the sides and then 2 on each side of the legs. I just really wanted the tops nice and smooth so the bags will slide, which they do. UPS just dropped off the bags I ordered off Amazon, which were only like 20 bucks. So all in all, I think I have like around 150, give or take, or mostly give, I think, in 150 bucks into these boards with the bags, decals, and everything. And that's including the hardware and whatnot. So yeah,